All right, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome once again to our technical writing class. And today we're talking about something that you'll likely create many times in your teaching career, which is a school newsletter or a bulletin. Now, by the end of this video, you will be able to design, evaluate, and revise a newsletter using professional technical writing standards. So let's get started. So, what exactly is a school newsletter? Now, in simple terms, it's a structured periodic document that informs, connects, and engages the school community. But let's unpack that. So, first, ang iyang purpose is to inform. So, inform mga schedules, policies, deadlines, and any updates from the school. Now, second, it celebrates maybe student achievements, teacher spotlights, and whatnot. Third is that it connects. It bridges the home and the school, especially for parents who cannot be uh, on school every day nga mo kuha sila mga bata or storya sa teacher. And fourth, it persuades. So it encourages attendance and participation at events, especially those nga mag-need og family. Now, here's the key difference between an essay and a memo. Now, a newsletter is visual and scannable. It's not meant to be read word for word like a novel, and parents might have only 30 seconds between dropping off one child and racing to work. So, your design and organization matter as much as your words. Now, let's look at the visual side first. Unsa may professional appearance dapat sa usa ka newsletter? First, it has to have a clean, consistent layout, usually in columns or in a grid. So you see intentional white space, which is not empty, but it gives the reader's eyes a rest. Now, there's also this hierarchy of information. The biggest, boldest text is the headline, and then ang body text, and then maybe a quote, a full quote in a box. And the photos are high quality. Actual students doing things, not just a generic clip art. Now you can do print. You can do print, ma-print ninyo sila on a standard letter paper or digital as a PDF or an email. Now either way, the same principle applies. Now, we have this one. I know it's small, but this is a sample of a newsletter which is nindot siya og layout. So, if you can observe that sample newsletter, and then yeah, observe that sample newsletter before we move on. Now, let's talk about the tone and the voice. Now, a good newsletter is professional, but it is also warm. It uses proper grammar, and that builds trust, but also uses the active voice. So, uh, words like we and your child. So, mogamit siya og kanang active voice. So, for example, kanang the administration is requiring all forms to be turned in by Friday. Now, if you read that one, that seems like mura mong mga robot na gistoryaan, when in fact, you can have like a stronger version like this one. Please return your child's permission slip by Friday, March 3rd. Thank you for helping us keep everyone safe. Now, that's the same information, but the other one, even though it's long, it invites cooperation, while the other demands compliance. So always aim to do the stronger example. Okay nga, murag yung mong nag-converse sa parent or sa guardian nga nibasa sa inyong newsletter. Now, every professional newsletter needs 8 core components. So, I'll read them very quickly so you can just screenshot or pause. So, first one is the masthead. Kana bitaw murag head, murag bitaw pangan sa publication. So, that includes your school name, your logo, the date, volume number, so on and so forth. Now, next one is header and footer. Now, this contains the contact information and social media of the school. Now, number three is table of contents. Now, you only need to have a table of contents if it is more than one page. Four is a principal's message or a welcome note. So, this has to be brief and personal as well. So, dili gid kaayo ni siya taas, it's just very short. 5, key dates, which is on a calendar style. So, mga key dates, for example, kano sa man ang exam sa mga students, ano sa man ang ilahang sem break, ano sa man ang mga events sa school. So, you have to put that one in a newsletter. Next is a feature article, maybe spotlight mo usa ka klase ninyo, or maybe a teacher, or maybe a program. And then 7, recurring sections like a counselor's corner or lunch menu, if provide of lunch, but this is usually pang US man gid siya. So mga recurring sections like mga past events ninyo, you're going to talk about that one. And 8 is a clear call to action. So sometimes naiuban sa inyong newsletter nga mag-need og RSVP or volunteer now, so you have to put a call to action there. Now, this is just a requirement, okay? For not the requirement, this is just a suggestion for a newsletter. I am not expecting you to follow all of this in a newsletter case. Newsletters are not the same, but basically, mao ni ang pinaka-safest format for a newsletter. Now, here's a quick evaluation checklist you can use on any newsletter. So you can ask yourself, is the purpose immediately clear? Can I understand why I'm reading this in under 5 seconds? Is the most important item visually prominent and it's not buried at the bottom? Next, can a busy parent fully read it in under 3 minutes? Mabasa ba na nila in under 3 minutes? Is no paragraph longer than 4 lines? So again, it has to be short. Are headlines specific? That's for example, spring fair this Saturday, or not just news. And finally, is there a named contact for each item? So make sure nga na ay mga contact people ang naa sa announcement. So make sure that you use this checklist handy, because you will use that one when you create your own newsletter. Now let's go to doing the 5 trait rubric on newsletter and school bulletin. Now, of course, first of all is clarity. Now, this means no confusion. Now, every item in a newsletter must answer the 5 W's and 1 H. So, who, what, when, where, and then why, and sometimes how. Now, headlines should be complete thoughts. Okay? So, dili siya vague, dili siya katurang one word ra. So, it has to be a phrase or a sentence. And you spell out as well acronyms the first time you use them. So, before mo ingon nga PTA, then mao na inyong first instance nga nisulti mo og PTA, then you have to write the definition. So, Parent Teacher Association. Okay? Before mo maka-ingon og PTA. Now, here's an unclear sentence. So, meeting tonight changed. That's useless. So, unsa man nga meeting? Unsa nga tonight? Oh, so you have here a clearer example. So the PTA meeting originally scheduled for tonight at 6 p.m. has been moved to Thursday, March 12, 6 p.m. in the library. So you see the difference now? When you pause and think about this will the left one, the unclear one, would actually leave you very confused. Like, unsa nga meeting ang gipasabot ana? Kanus nga tonight? Oh, kay base day tonight, then mana day na nga tonight, di ba? So, make sure that you avoid being confused, or you avoid confusion in your newsletter by making sure that you have clear ideas. Number next, conciseness. Now, conciseness, of course, means no wasted words. Busy parents do not have time for your shenanigans and yung mga tag-as na mga words. So, use bullet points instead of long paragraphs. So, delete adjectives like really, very, and extremely, and always keep one idea per sentence, and aim for 3 sentences max per item. Makita ninyo ang wordy dira nga example ug ang concise example. Layo ra gyud kayo 28 words versus if concise na to siya 11 words ra gyud. That's the same idea already. Okay? So rule of thumb, always cut 30% from your first draft. You almost always can do that one. Again, cut 30% from your first draft. Next, accessible design. Now, this means readers can find information in seconds and not minutes. So, what are you going to do in order to have accessible document design? So, use headings at 14 to 16 points ang size niya, and at 11 to 12 points ang body. Okay? Now, left align everything. Never center long paragraphs because our eyes track best from a straight left margin, because this is a document that you have to read, then you have to left align everything. Okay? And use high contrast. So use a dark text on a light background, and use call out boxes for urgent information. So maybe if mag early dismissal mo ana a particular week, then you have to have like a call out box with a warning icon. Now, what are you going to avoid? You avoid all caps paragraphs. Kung paragraphs are puros capital letters, then you have to avoid it because that is very hard to read on a reader's perspective. Next, using more than two different fonts. My goodness, mura maglabad atong wala kay duha ka different fonts mo gigamit for the same text. Okay? Next, images behind text. And that kills readability. Nga, na kay text na luyo sa image, dili na mabasa. And tiny reverse type. Now, unsa pasabot aning tiny reverse type? White text on a dark background. Now, this is fine for headers, but it is terrible for body copy. And body copy is the text itself. Okay? So, horrible kaayo siya. So, uh, do not do that one. Next, audience recognition. This is the most important trait for us as teachers because your primary audiences are parents and guardians who may be busy, they may have multiple children, and may speak different home languages. Now, your second audiences, the teachers and staff, this might people who need action items and deadlines, and sometimes students themselves. So, money mo mga three audiences for a newsletter. Now, to practice audience recognition in writing newsletter, ask these three questions for every piece of content. Number one, what does this reader need to know? Not just what's nice to know. Unsay kinahanglan nila mahibawaan. Number two, what will this reader do after reading? Unsa man ilang buhaton after nila mabasa? Kinahanglan ba sila mo bayad? Kinahanglan ba sila mo attend? Do they have to sign a form or whatnot? And three, what is their grading? Or sorry, what is their reading level? Now, I have not discussed this to you, but makita ninyo sa online na namin mga reading tests or reading levels. You just copy and paste the text and may bawaan ninyo ang reading levels ana nga text. Now, aim for 6th to 8th grade for a general audience for parent communication if you're going to send this one to a parent. Now, accuracy is the foundation of trust. If you get one date wrong, parents might miss work or a child might be left unsupervised, and that is very serious. Now, there are three types of accuracy. We have factual, uh, which means, wrong date, wrong room number. You have to make sure nga klaro gyud tanan. Next, there's also the spelling or grammar error. So, sometimes moingon mo ma-confuse niyo ang principal to principal, right? So, make sure nga i-check din niyo yung spelling because one is a person, one is an idea. Those are two different things. And procedural, saying submit forms to room 101 when it's actually room 110. So, that is how those are the types of errors that you have to avoid. Now, here's a simple proofreading protocol. First, read the newsletter aloud backwards. That forces you to look at each word in isolation. Second, use the 3 eyes method. You write it, your colleague edits it, and then a fresh reader, maybe a non-teacher friend, reads it one last time to check for errors. And lastly, check every date and time against a live calendar. So maybe you're using in your school Google Calendar or Outlook Calendar, then you have to check it, make sure nga walay naka contradict na schedule. Now, there are also these 5 common mistakes in writing newsletters. So allow me to just read this very briefly to you. First is the brain dump. When you list down everything, bitaw isulti butaw bitaw yung tanan unsa may nahitabo, nahitabo ni nahitabo na, ay nag-program diri, nag-program dira. That is a brain dump. Not all of the parents need to know that. Second is a wall of text. Puro sa yung text, no visuals, no breaks, no hierarchy. Labad kaayo na sa ulo, basahon. And third is the inside joke. Now, this one is that when you assume everyone knows a school-specific lingo. So, basin sa inyong school na amoy specific na lingo or joke, and then inyong gibutang sa newsletter, not everyone will know that one because not everyone is in the school, for a good majority of their time. Ang mga parents are not there all of the time. So, inyo na ibutang inside joke, dili gyud na sila kasabot unsa na. Okay? Next, the moving target. When you change your column layout every issue, mag-usab-usab mo sa yung layout, that erodes trust because parents cannot find everything. And lastly, the no reply. Walay contact name, walay email, walay phone number sa newsletter. So, here's a technical writing rule of thumb. So, if dili maka-act ang parent on it, then you don't have to publish it. If it's just for information, then dili siya dapat ibutang sa newsletter. But if parents have to act on it, then they can use a newsletter, or teachers can use that newsletter. And thank you everyone for listening. That ends our lesson for today.